Hello. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Skills 14, page 1. So we're going to go over personal financial literacy, and we're going to be talking about budgeting and saving. So there are many examples and many reasons why we budget and save. So let's talk about the definitions. So save. It's to put money aside for future wants or needs, and to spend, to use money for something you want or need. So if we're going to save, I want you to pause and think about what times you have actually tried to save for a certain need or want. For example, I can use my little brother as an example. He's a sixth grader right now. He has currently been saving his money from the past few birthdays and Christmases, and he has put them away and he has put them aside to help him buy his own Xbox. So that's how he wants to save. Now, when he gets this money, he plans to spend it. So to use the money for something you want or need. So let's go ahead and continue reading here. So it says, why do people save? Why do people spend? Every day we make decisions about spending or saving. When we save, it may mean giving up something we want. If we spend, we do not get to save as much money. Saving money helps us have more money. The longer we save, the more money we have. People must save so they can have money to pay for their needs. For example, if you save $4 from your allowance each week for 7 weeks, how much money will you have after 7 weeks? Complete the table and solve. So here, if week 1 I have $4, how much will I have in week number 2? Well, for week number 2, I would have how much money? Oh, let me fix that. I would have $8. I'm going to put $8. So what about week number 3? How much would I have after that? That's right, I would have $12, on and on and on. So I want you to try to complete the table and see how far we can get. I've already completed the chart here. So week 1, $4. Week 2, I'll have 8. Week 3, I'll have 12. Week 4, I have 16. Week 5, 20. Week 6, 24. And week 7, 28. Now, how did I complete this table? Remember, by adding 4 every single time, because week 1, I saved $4. Week 2, I saved another $4, so that's 8. Another $4, so that's 12. Another $4, and on, all the way to week 7. So how much money will you have after 7 weeks? Well, after 7 weeks, I should have a total of $28. Now remember, saving helps us reach both short-term goals, such as buying a new video game, and long-term goals, such as purchasing a new laptop or saving for college. So I want to help you understand that the short-term goals can be accomplished over days or weeks, and long-term goals may take months or years. Saving and budgeting. So let's put this to practice. Let's go over number 1. Paul needs to save $640 to purchase books and supplies for his spring college semester. Paul plans to save $169 a month for 3 months for the purchase of the books. He will still need some more money after needed supplies. How much more money does Paul still need? So list 3 ways Paul might be able to earn or save extra money he needs. So what are some examples that you can think of? Well, first off, let's start off by solving this problem here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my drawing tool here. So I know that he's going to have to save $169 a month for 3 months. So this is 169, that's 1 month, another 169, that's the second month, plus 169 and on. So what can I do? I can add 169 plus 169 plus 169, but I could also do another thing. And what is that? Exactly, I can do 169, and I can multiply it by 3, because I'm multiplying by the amount of months. So let's multiply it by 3. 9 times 3 is 27, so I put a 7 here, carry the 2. 3 times 6, 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, so this is a 0. Carry the 2 up here. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So after 3 months, he would have saved how much money? He would have saved $507. This is supposed to be my money symbol, but that came out kind of crazy. So that means he saved $507. Has he met his goal of 640? No, he has not, right? He still needs to save more. So how much more does Paul need to save? How am I going to figure that out? That's right, I can subtract. So I'm going to do 640, and I'm going to take away 507. So let's go ahead and try this out. Remember, guys, I'm using a mouse here, so I'm trying my best to keep this all nice and neat. Can 0 take away 7? No, so I have to borrow. This becomes a 3, and this becomes a 10. 10 take away 7? That's right, that's 3. 3 take away 0 is just 3 again. 6 take away 5 is 1. So how much money does he need to save? $123. So here, list 3 ways Paul might be able to earn or save extra money he needs. So what can he do? Well, I want you to list some ways of what he can do. So what are some things he can maybe cut off? Maybe he doesn't go out as much. Maybe he can try to put away $123 for the next month, which is saving for another month. What else do you think he could do? So I want you to try to use the strategies I just talked about, and I want you to think of 3 ways that Paul might be able to earn or save the extra money. So when we talk about earn, what does that mean? What does it mean to earn something? Earn something means you work for it. So for example, a lot of my students did really good this past week on this test, on last week's test. How did we earn that grade? By practicing, by paying attention, and by following directions. For me, an example, I want you to talk about a teacher. How do they earn their money? By working, right? So what can Paul do to help earn this money? Maybe he can find a short-term job. Maybe he can sell a few of his video games. So I want you to list 3 ways that Paul might be able to earn or save the extra money he needs. Now let's go to number 2. Tabitha wants to buy a new electronic device that costs $280. She receives $10 from her weekly allowance. She also works weekends babysitting for her neighbor. She usually babysits 4 to 6 hours in the week at $6 per hour. If she saves $5 each week from her allowance and babysitting an average of 5 hours per week, how many weeks will it take Tabitha to save $280? So it says use a table or diagram to sketch how you would create the savings. So first off, there's a lot of information here. So we know she receives $10 from her weekly allowance. So that means it's not just every day or every month, it's every week. So Friday's $10, the next Friday another $10, on and on. And we also know that she babysits for 4 to 6 hours a week at about $6 per hour. So it's saying if she saves, because is she saving that whole $10? No, she's only going to save how much? $5 each week from her allowance. And the babysits an average of 5 hours per week. How many weeks will it take Tabitha to save $280? Well, how can we figure that out? Well, let's figure out how much she makes in 1 week. So I'm going to create a text box here. So let's go ahead. 1 week. Well, I know that she saves $5. This is from her allowance. And we know that she babysits for 5 hours. She babysits 5 hours for $6 each hour. So we know that information, and can that information tell me how much she makes in 1 week? Well, sure. So let's talk about this, the babysitting. So for sure, in allowance, she does $5. And is that going to change? No, she's always going to use $5, which is half of her weekly allowance. So she's for sure going to have $5. Now, how can I figure out how much money she makes off of babysitting? Because she babysits for 5 hours a week. So that means 1 week she's only done 5 hours and she gets $6 each hour. So when she works 1 hour, how much money does she save? 6. What about the next hour? That's 12. And the next hour? That's 18. So what can I do to figure that out? I can multiply. So I can multiply 5. That's 5 hours. Multiply that by my $6 each hour. How much would that equal? Yep. That means she would save how much? Yep, $30. So how much does she get in total a week? Well, she gets $30 from her babysitting. Let me fix this. $30 from babysitting, plus she also saves $5 from her allowance. So that means she gets a total of $35 a week. So we want her to get to 280. How can I do that? Well, let's go ahead and create a small table. So I'm going to use another text box over here. So 1 week is how much money? 35. What about week 2? 2 weeks. How much is she going to make? Well, that's another 35, and 35 plus 35 is what? How much is 35 plus 35? Yep, $70. What about 3 weeks? How much would she save there? Okay, that's 105. Yep. What are we doing to get to my next amount? What am I doing? Well, I'm just adding $35 to each week, correct? Or I can be multiplying. 1 times 35 is 35. 2 times 35 is 70. 3 times 35 is 105. So let's check about the 4 weeks. So let's go ahead and do 105 and let's do plus 35. That right there will be $140. Are we close to my total yet? Oh, sorry, 140. Is that close to my total yet? No, I still need 280. Oh, so I'm gonna have to continue making this table. So let's keep going. What about 5 weeks? 5 weeks have passed. So how much did she save? Oh, 140 plus 35. That's 175. 6 weeks. Let's see about 6 weeks. Again, got to add another $35. That's 210. Are we almost there? Well, we're already at the 200s. So now 7 weeks in. Let's see, 7 weeks, another $35. That's 245. Let's look at 8 weeks. Gonna add another $35. And right there it is 280. So what was my goal? How much did I have to save? I wanted to save $280 to buy a new electronic device. So how many weeks did I have to save for? That's right, I had to save for 8 weeks. So here, how many weeks did I need? I needed 8 weeks. Now let's look at number 3. So it says, use the following information to answer questions 3 and 4. As part of her monthly budget, it says Martina saves $138 from her paycheck. She pays $250 in rent and $236 in other living expenses. What is the total? Right here, what is the total? Let me change the color because I don't like the color. What is the total for Martina's budget expenses? So we want to know the total for her expenses. What does expenses even mean? And we talked about this before. We talked about expenses, and what does expenses mean? It means stuff she pays for bills, right? So here, this is talking about saving. Is this part of our expenses? So again, we're talking about expenses. So let's go ahead and talk about what she puts to the side, or how much she doesn't use to spend. Well, let's talk about what she does. Well, we know that she saves $138 from her paycheck, so that's an expense that she puts aside. But she also pays $250 in rent and $236 in other living expenses. So what is the total budget, Martina's budget expense? So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's do 138. I actually write that down. 138, this is how much she pays in her, that goes from her paycheck and goes to her savings. 250. And 236. So if I want to know my total, what do I have to do to all these 3 numbers? That's right, add them. That's what I want you to do for number 3. Number 4, if Martina earns $12 per hour, how many hours will she need to work to pay off her expenses? So I want you to look here, and I want you to know that if she works $12 per hour, how much will she work for her expenses? So once you get your total here from adding all these up, you're then going to figure out, well, if she works 1 hour, how much money is she going to have? Because this is $12 per hour. So we know that 1 hour she makes $12. So what about 2 hours? How much will she make there? $24. Does she have enough money with $24 to be able to pay all these expenses? No, right? So another thing you could do as well is you can divide you can divide by the total amount that's right here. Let me put a shape there. So once you get your total amount right here, you're going to then use that number, and then I want you to just go ahead and divide it by using what we taught you guys. You can use a standard algorithm, and you're going to divide that by, I'm trying to make this be a little straighter. I want you to divide that by 12. Then the quotient, remember the quotient stands for your answer. This will be the amount of hours that she would need to work to be able to pay her expenses. So again, I want you to add these numbers. Whatever number you get as your answer, you're going to put it in as your dividend and your divisor, and then you're going to get your quotient. And that'll tell you the amount of hours.